I mean, we don't have like a lot to talk about anyway, so I don't think it'll be too long. But
No, yeah, I had a couple things. All right, we
let me
should
know
be
when to start
live.
recording.
I'm just trying to make sure that we're live. Okay, we're live.
Hmm.
Um, all right, I'm ready to record when you are.
Yep. Count it down.
All
One,
right,
2, 3. Record.
go.
All right. Yeah, we're
All
good.
right.
Is my air conditioner
We,
picking up a lot? Doesn't sound like it today.
yes, it did.
Today or last time?
Last time. I don't know if
Yeah.
it'll be. I don't like. I don't know if like maybe next time you could record in a bedroom, but I don't know. You
Uh,
don't have to.
you know what it is? I can hear myself really well, and I was very and like I could hear it last time over the headset, but right now I can't. And all I had to do was like all I had to do was have it on a lower setting, and I'm a little
Okay.
more like away from it, so I think we'll be better this time.
Okay. Because I feel bad because if you listen back to the episodes, basically, I have a filter on that cuts out background noise.
Yeah.
So when you have a lot of background noise, I have to turn your dial to cut out the background noise all the way up,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
loses your voice loses like punchiness
Oh,
almost,
okay.
if that makes sense. Like you kind of fall a little bit in the background. It sounds fine, but
Yeah.
if you listen, you'll hear the difference. But so I feel bad
Yeah.
that I have to do that.
No, it's okay. I mean, again, I can hear what I really like about GarageBand is I can hear what I sound like as we're doing this, and I was aware of like the background noise last time, and I just like wasn't able to. I guess like in the moment, I just didn't do anything about it.
No, it's
Which is
fine. I mean,
fine.
no, it's fine. I got it handled. Let me just see. Okay, whatever. Oh, yeah. But yeah, man. So
Hello. We should probably say hello to the masses.
Gene, how has your summer been? It's summertime. Have you been enjoying your summer?
I have. I've just been real busy, and I have like no money. But it's also partially my fault for quitting my job. But it's okay. um,
How do you have any funny Uber stories yet?
I want on Uber.
Or I'm sorry, DoorDash?
I mean, not really. The general like today it happened where like a lot of people order from Quick Check,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not even where like I'm grabbing like their stuff. Like they'll order like a Quick Check sub, and like the Quick Check employees will have it ready. And a lot of places do this. Like McDonald's does this where they put it in like a special like delivery bag. It's taped or stapled shut. Like I don't know what's inside of it. I just have to trust that whatever's in there, it's what people ordered. So I drop off an order, and then like 10 minutes later, I got a text like, "Hey, like there's supposed to be cookies in here," and I'm like, I didn't prep the order. Like I'm sorry, and I tell people all the time, like I'm sorry. Like I don't, I can't unseal the bag to see the contents of the order unless like you want me to, or like I'm only gonna do it if you like explicitly like tell me I can. That way I have in writing. You know what I'm saying? Because like
Right.
I'm not trying to get in trouble. um, so I told her like it's not my fault. Like I don't tell you. Um,
Yeah, of course.
um, or there's actually this one time I delivered order from Panera, and you've been to Panera, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know how they put your order on like on the counter and you just go and grab it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for DoorDash. So I this is kind of partially my fault too because I should have double because I can like on my app I can see like at least like an itemized breakdown of what people ordered,
Mm-hmm.
and I just didn't check this time. But I guess like this lady had ordered like a Pepsi or something. So when I got
Yeah.
there, she's like, "Oh," she met me outside. She's like, "Oh, there should be a soda with it," and I'm like, "Oh, there wasn't." And she kept saying like, "Well, there should be," and I'm just kind of like, "Okay, well, there isn't." Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Good God.
She's like, "It's okay." And she was like clearly annoyed about it, and I'm just like, and I do feel bad, but a part of me is kind of like, I'm like, because I realized like, oh, if I just checked, like I would have been like, oh, there's a drink, but whatever. I also, I'm not gonna lie, Dan. I don't give a fuck about these customers, man. I don't fucking care.
Of course.
But I feel kind of because she was like nice about it, Like I haven't ever had like dick customers, like I honestly truly haven't. So but I was just
Mhm.
kind of like, oh, I'm sorry, and she's like, that's okay. I'll yell at Panera about it. I was like, all right, cool, and I got out of there as fast as I possibly fucking could.
Oh my god.
So not really interesting stories, just stuff like that happens. Oh, I will get like often I can accept an order, and then sometimes if another customer who either lives near the first customer or is ordering from like a restaurant near the other restaurant, like it'll be like, oh, do you want to add this order as well? And I'm like, sure, whatever, So now I have
Mhm.
two orders, two different locations. DoorDash won't tell, like if let's say you order, right?
Mhm.
And then like someone else orders too, DoorDash won't tell you that like I accepted another order. And you as the customer, you can see where I am, like on DoorDash. So
Oh.
while I'm dropping off, and then like DoorDash will kind of like, I'm not sure how DoorDash prioritizes orders. I kind of have an idea, but like I just like out of the two orders, it'll just pick one for me. Like go here first because it makes more sense either on the map or based on like location or who got the order first, whatever. So, but it won't tell you, So I've had
Mhm.
customers tell me like, hey, are you lost? Because they'll see me like somewhere like not near their home, and I'll tell them like, no, I have another order, and I'll tell them like, straight, like DoorDash doesn't tell you that, like I just don't have your, I have some other order as well. Like it's kind of annoying. I wish DoorDash at least like prompt, at least tell the customer like, hey, like your driver has been assigned another order as well, it'll probably be a few minutes later, you know what I'm saying? But
Right, yeah.
they'll message me like, "Are you lost?" Like, and I'm like in my head,
Oh
I'm
my
like,
god.
"It's 2022. How the fuck? We all have iPhones. No, I'm not fucking lost." Like,
Yeah.
that's what I want to say, but like, I'm not gonna because like it's not their fault. um,
Jesus.
so it's just like little nuance things like that I'm just kind of like, no, no, it's not what's going on, you know.
Yeah. The
I mean, like I
the,
totally
the
like picked up an order. There have been times where like I picked up a Five Guys order, and then like I had placed like a McDonald's order for myself. So I swung my McDonald's real quick, and I'm
yeah,
always like,
sure.
I wonder like just like watching me, like what is he doing at McDonald's? And like because then I could just lie and be like, oh, I'm picking up another order for another customer, even like it's for me.
Of course.
But like it's funny. Like you can, I don't know. Do you ever DoorDash? I don't. I've never
Every
ordered.
every once in a while. Yeah.
Yes, you can like see where the driver. You can like fucking track them like a little, like little mice in a maze. Like, yes, servant, bring
It's
me my
weird.
food. It's
Yeah.
very. I don't like it.
No, it's very bizarre.
I'm not gonna lie. I've had times where like I'll get like a DoorDash order, and then I'll go like pick up a Walmart order. But that'd be like I sit in the parking lot Walmart like 5 minutes to get that order, and I'm just like, I hope they're not watching me and thinking like, why is this person sitting there like in a parking lot with my food? Because like people get really fucking personal about their food, and I get it,
Jesus.
but like a little too personal.
Oh, of course.
Because DoorDash is entirely based on the model of like you have to get the shit to the person as fast as possible, you know.
Right.
And it loves doing a thing where like if I'm in Uptown, it'll be like, okay, go to Wendy's, which is the opposite side of Kingston from Uptown.
Right.
It'll be like go to Wendy's, but then go drop the food back off in Uptown. So I'm always like, just going back and fucking forth through Albany Avenue, and I'm losing my goddamn mind, Dan. I'm like, honestly, I'm over it, man. I'm like looking for like a real job again, but I kind of got a real job again, kind of. I'll explain that after the podcast, but like I'm like
Oh,
over it,
nice.
dude. I'm
Yeah.
over it, man. It's just I mean, it's been like just it's not my forever plan. This is more of like, okay, like I quit my job, not the best idea, but whatever. I got a baby to feed, I got bills. I just need to do something for the meantime before I fucking, shoot myself at work,
Sure.
or
Yeah.
shoot up the school. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, man, it's the gig economy. It's a pain in the ass, I guess.
Yeah. You know what? It's just honestly like it's just Kingston traffic, man. Kingston's like it's not very big, but it's so dense.
Yeah,
You know?
it sucks.
And it like just fills up with cars, and I'm like, where do all these fucking Teslas come from?
That's true. Yeah, there are a lot
Yeah.
of Teslas.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think so.
I just need one of them to hit me though, because I'll be like, hell yeah, coming after you, Musk.
Right, of course. Yeah, it's
But that's my rant.
nice.
Anyway, we should get into the show that we do.
Yeah. Welcome to Next Round on Me, everyone. I am your host, Dan Streams, and I wake up every morning with a healthy dose of Fox News. And my co-host, Gene P. Blandon. Gene, how are you?
I'm good. I wake up every morning with a healthy dose of Newsmax. Actually, I want the
Always got a
first
one
thing.
up.
I want the first thing in the morning to be some white man telling me like, listen, those immigrants are at your door right fucking now. As soon as you open your door, one of them's gonna fucking stab you and steal your job and rape your daughter. And I'm like, yeah, rational people should watch this.
Dude, have you been? Are you afraid of monkeypox?
No, Dan, I'm not even afraid of COVID anymore.
Dude, I swear to God,
I'm just vibing.
it's so old news, COVID. But like now, the media, the whole thing is they're trying to push monkeypox. I'm hearing more and more about it every day. Like, oh, it's a national emergency now. It's like it's creeping on your door. It's coming to a theater near you. Be afraid.
This summer.
I can't even.
You watch South Park?
Oh yeah.
Remember, it's like Rob Schneider is a carrot. It's like this summer, Rob Schneider versus monkeypox featuring Nicolas Cage.
I swear to God, this past week, Marissa has been feeling sick and she's had like shoulder pain and neck pain. And she's been saying that like her face is breaking out and she's feeling just like shit every day.
Does she think she has monkeypox?
Swear to God, this is a week into her just feeling like shit. And I come home one day and she says to me, I think I might actually have monkeypox. And I just start saying, no, you have gas. It's something else. You've been eating too much fiber. I don't know what it is.
Gaslighting her until thinking she doesn't have monkeypox.
I refuse to accept that monkeypox is a thing. You cut back to me. I'm like in a Q shirt. I have a MAGA hat. I'm like, no, I'm burning masks. I'm like, no, this is not a thing. It's not happening.
While we're on it, Marissa, Alex Jones was right. Okay, they're being too hard on him.
I refuse to believe in monkeypox.
Wait, so
I'm not doing it again.
Is she good?
She's fine. It's just funny. Yeah, and you were telling me Miriam doesn't feel too good. I'm like, it's not monkeypox. It's not monkeypox. I'm like on message boards. Like,
dude, I mean, like, because like I was sick last recording session, right? And then
yeah,
I was sick all weekend, dude. Like, because I felt like kind of shitty on Thursday. We recorded, whatever. And then Friday and Saturday, bro, I was just like out of my fucking, like, I was just felt like shit. And then Sunday a little better. And then like all week, like, my throat has hurt, so I was like looking like it because like like when you get like because I was like, oh, maybe I have strep or something, and you know how when you get strep you can see it's like swollen.
Yeah.
So I was like in the mirror like looking with like my flashlight, and I could see that it's like the white patches that you get when you have like strep throat. So I was like, I might just have strep, and I might just be like sick. And you know that little thing that hangs in the back of your throat. There was like a white patch right on it. That shit felt so weird. I was like aware of it. It's massively declined now. I've been fucking drinking Dayquil like fucking like I'm Future or some shit. But like I'm getting like my throat feels better every day. But like people, we can still just get sick,
Yeah, of course.
So I think there's just like a bug going around because you said Marissa's sick. Miriam doesn't feel well. My brother got sick actually after I got sick. His coworker's been sick, and I tell people like, and Miriam was like, "Do you think you have COVID?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'm not gonna check."
Yeah, at this point,
I can't wait. I can't wait to get canceled because of this. But I don't know. I guess like not to sound like fucking MAGA, but I'm like, there's still other like, there's like the cold. It's still a thing. Like you can still just get a flu. Like
no, of course,
COVID's not the only thing. Like there's still like other shit like polio. Not that I'm gonna get polio, but
I just have AIDS. It's fine.
I just have AIDS. Like relax. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Wait. So have you gotten sick?
No, I haven't even tested positive for COVID once.
It's fake, Dan.
I'm convinced I've had it. I've probably had it at least 5 times in my office at work or something, and you just don't know. I feel like you could just test positive one day, but people are still popping up saying that they're positive for COVID. It's still a thing that's like going on.
Yeah.
It's just not.
It's just a new normal. It's just like, I don't know. I don't want to get too into it. I really don't, because I'm just like, whatever. But you know how like everyone gets like, you get a cold like once a year or whatever. I think it might just be like that. But I don't want to get too into it. I'm not a fucking scientist, and I can't wait for if we had like a fan base, I'd be getting so many goddamn replies now. But I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I always forget to do this at the top, but I'm going to do this at the top this time because I promised myself. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Next Round on Me. Make sure you subscribe to our Instagram or follow our Instagram, Next Round on Me Pod. Make sure you give us a review on iTunes, review the podcast, tell us your favorite Roman Polanski movie, and make sure you give us the 5 stars because that is very important for the algorithm. So I always forget to mention that 5-star review.
Half
on
the
iTunes.
audience can be like, wait, why is he laughing at that? For those who don't know,
sign the petition.
Look up why Roman Polanski can't come back to the United States and why he's been in France since like the 70s.
Yeah.
For those who don't know.
So
also Rosemary's Baby.
Oh man, great. What an artist.
Movie. What a movie.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. You can't deny it.
Of course. Speaking of good movies. Gina.
Segway.
There wasn't a whole lot of big news going on this week, but there were some good movies coming out. And you and I both saw the new Predator movie, Prey, which I was very excited for.
Yeah.
Yeah. You saw it on Hulu. It was obviously on Hulu for everyone. Of course. And that's probably partially why it became a big hit. Everyone was able to see it right day and date, not in theaters. I know there's a conversation around that.
Actually.
But
well, did you see who handled the international release?
No.
Disney Plus.
Oh, interesting.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right?
Well, they own Hulu.
Yeah, but I guess Disney Plus is like a wider market internationally, and it's like, come on Disney Plus and watch Iron Man, Mickey Mouse, and a Predator just mercilessly kill people.
Yeah. So for anyone that doesn't know the new Predator movie, Prey, out on Hulu, Gene, what did you think of the new Predator movie, Prey?
Before we get into that, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I had no idea this movie was coming out.
I didn't either.
I didn't see any marketing, any ads. Like I saw nothing for it, dude. There was a trailer. I missed it, dude. I had no idea. So then I think I was like, because Hulu's I watch Bob's Burgers to fall asleep. So I think I was just kind of like on Hulu like last week or like when it came out, and I saw like said Prey, and I was like, oh, and like I think I like just like because they're always putting like their only murders in the building. They're always putting like whatever like their hit new thing is, and I just kind of like I'm very sure I just like scrolled past it, like yeah, whatever. Some other like they do a lot of docs. They do a lot of weird they do a lot of like serial killer documentaries. Notice that a lot of like haunted like murder shit. So I think
big market.
I think I saw the name, and I know I was like, oh, it's probably some other stupid like, oh, what child predator got a documentary this time? You know what I mean? Like
that makes sense, actually.
What shitty fucking person got a doc this time? And I'm sure I just like scrolled past it.
Right.
And then, like the next day, I think I like saw it again, and I finally like read the description, and I'm like, oh, it's a Predator movie. And then like it even says like set 300 years ago, and I was like, oh shit. And then then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, like this is a really cool premise. But again, like I want to say, like I don't know if I just maybe because I'm busy, but like I did not see any of the marketing for it. I don't know if there was a push. I have no idea. And then, once I saw it was a Predator movie, I realized like, wait, like, did this have a theatrical run? Like I thought like maybe it had a run like a while ago or some shit, and now it's on Hulu. Maybe I just missed it because I have a baby now, so I thought like whatever. If I missed it, I wouldn't be surprised. But no, that I think I just like Googled it or something, and I saw like, oh, they just put it straight on streaming. So
yeah,
I don't know. It was like I was just like out, and then it just I thought it was weird. I was like, wait, like Predator's a pretty big franchise, like straight to streaming. Okay, whatever. Especially like now, like in summer 2020 would have been a different story, but I don't know. I found it really like interesting, and then like and then you see it's like, oh, 20th Century Fox, like it's a major studio, like okay, interesting choice. So yeah, but so I was interested just off the premise, like, oh, it's a Comanche like woman, seems really cool. That like I love I was like, okay, so she won't have like modern weaponry. That's cool, like just using just like your bow and arrow and like your tomahawk. Like I thought it was a really cool premise from the start. Like oh hell yeah, like I know the Predator is like, you know, has like a stealth mode and like advanced weaponry, so I was like, this is gonna be cool. Like, let's see how this Native American warrior can fight this super advanced monster. And then you know, since I have a fucking baby, I've been trying to watch the movie for like 5 days now, dude.
Yeah, of course.
But it gave me time to like see the reviews, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's so good." And then I'm not gonna lie, man. I know I give you a lot of shit, but I do judge movies based on like what you put on Letterboxd, and
Oh,
because
well,
I know
thank
you.
you.
Because I'm serious. I give you shit, but I'm like, if Dan liked it, then it's a good movie.
Well, yeah, everyone's got their own taste. I don't
no,
judge shit.
I know, but like, I mean, but like to me, it's like I value your opinion.
Oh,
So like,
thanks.
if you give something like a 4 or more, I'm like, okay, like this has to be a good movie, even though I don't like Hardcore Henry, notwithstanding.
I was gonna say I like a lot of shit that's not a lot of people. That's not for everyone.
So you know, you invited me to watch it with you, and obviously I couldn't because I was sick. But I remember thinking like, I can't wait to see his Letterboxd review of it. I can't see. I can't. You know, I knew you were gonna post it on Instagram, so I was thinking like, I can't wait to see his like Letterboxd about it on Instagram. And I think you posted it that night, right? I just remember seeing it like shortly
Probably.
after, and I was like, oh shit, even Dan likes it. Like this isn't just like everyone else likes it, but like Dan hates everything. So that actually got me like really excited for it. So this morning it was like 7:40. Miriam had gone to work. And it's not a very long movie. It's like a tight 90.
Yeah.
And you know, so I was like, well, you know, I gotta go to work at 9. So I was like, you know what? I can probably just watch the movie real quick and you know, at the latest, go to work at 9:30. So I did. And yeah. So now I can talk about it. I really liked it. I haven't seen any of the Predators since AVP, which, you know, fucking blows. So I had to kind of like refresh myself because I was like, wait, like, where is the Predator franchise even been for the past few years? I had no idea there was a movie in 2018 called The Predator. I had no fucking clue.
Yeah.
I did remember Predators because I remember thinking like, oh yeah, there was like one a few years ago, and I was right. But then I was like, oh shit, there was one 3 years ago. What?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, that's cool. So I guess so it's like so I like how it's like a prequel, and I like how it's like, but also like a soft reboot, which is kind of cool.
Right.
Sorry, I think Maya's having a good time. Anyway, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I don't. How did you want to like talk about it? Do you want to just like me talk about it first, or you talk? Like, how did you want to do?
Yeah,
this?
just initial thoughts. We'll get into it.
Okay. Initial thoughts. Pacing, loved it. I think a lot of horror movies, especially like, you know, this isn't a slasher film, but it's in that vein. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
I think a lot of them drag, and I remember like seeing like, oh, hour and a half runtime. Okay, cool. And like as I'm watching it, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, there's no reason like to like extend this. Like, it's not like a lot of like you don't get any fucking lore. It's not like, you know, I forget the main character's name. You don't get some kind of thing where she's like trying to figure out like, oh, what is this? Like, no, it's just kind of like, all right, I gotta kill this thing, you know. And I love that. It was like very straightforward, and you know, and of course you got to create some like tension. So I do like how she's trying to tell her brother and her tribe like, hey, there's like something out there, and they're like, you're just a woman.
Right.
I gotta get a bottle. Miriam just texted me saying bottle, bottle, bottle. I will be right back.
Sure, go for it.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Go for it.
I wish Josh was here to like fill up the space. All right, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
But yeah, as I was saying, yeah, it was a really tight-paced movie. Um, I don't want to gush on about it too much, but like thinking about it, it reminds me a lot of like the '80s slasher. Okay, you know how like every slasher franchise in the '80s became like incredibly convoluted,
Right,
but
right.
like you go watch Friday the 13th, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street. Like every first movie is just kind of like straightforward, a little bit
Mm-hmm.
of lore, but like not a whole lot because something focused on the movie. That's what this reminded me of. Like it felt like
Okay.
one of those of like, and I do like how it was like, listen, like you audience, you know what the fuck a predator is. Like we're not even gonna try to like what's going on.
Right.
Like so I like that. It was kind of like what a predator is. And okay, we've established like this is set in the past because of Native Americans and French trappers. Bam, that's all I need to know. And I thought that was like good. Don't hold my hand. I just want to see the predator fuck some dudes up and fight the main character, and that's exactly what we saw.
Yeah, of
So,
course.
so I liked it. My one complaint: CGI was a little wonky. Could have been better.
Right. Sure, that bear.
Yeah, but I do like how same like in the '80s, like the Predator was like a dude in a suit, which was awesome. Like I like how it was like clearly like in some scenes it was CGI, sure, but you can tell for a lot of it was like, oh, that's just a dude. Like, oh, they just found a really tall, jacked dude to be the Predator. Great,
Right.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah,
about you?
no, I'm a huge fan of the Predator franchise, so I already have I had a huge bias going into it. Just
Wait, so
because
how did you hear about it?
So it was funny. I didn't know that there was a Predator movie coming out either until we were Jason came over one night and we were watching the live streams of Comic-Con, and there was a panel for the cast of Prey, and Jason was telling me, he goes, "Dude, we got to see the new Predator movie." And I'm like, "There's a new Predator movie?" I was like
Right?
grabbing his shirt. I'm like, "There's a new Predator movie coming out?" When? Yeah, no, I had no idea about it either. I might have heard something, but no, I had no idea, because, and the reasoning behind everyone, to me, it was pretty obvious why this movie was just put on streaming as opposed to theatrical, even though it's a big '80s franchise, is that the 2018 version, directed by Shane Black, was so poorly received and everyone hated it so much, they were just saying it basically killed the franchise. Like, people were saying after the 2018 Predator movie that just put this in a grave. Don't
Just
ever
fucking
do
shoot
this.
it.
Just don't ever do anything with this franchise ever again. It was considered dead.
Oh
And
wow.
it did the thing where, yeah, it wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen, but it definitely did the thing where it was trying to expand on the lore of the Predator, just so not necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I love what I love about the original Predator movie, and Predator 2, and um I just watched the Predators movie, the 2010 movie, which was really good too. It's just, they're just very straightforward monster movies. I
Yeah.
like the Predator, just looks so cool. I love the stealth, the invisibility cloak that they have, and just the technology. The alien itself looks cool in their armor. So I've always just been such a fan of the Predator franchise. It's always been. I still have some blind spots on big '80s franchises.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen every Alien movie. I haven't seen every Terminator movie, but my biggest franchises in the '80s are Rocky, and the Predator movies are number one.
I didn't know
So
that. That's interesting.
yeah,
Okay.
no, I like a lot of the Rocky movies. I've seen all of them, but Predator movies, man, the Predator movies, I just love that
Yeah.
franchise so much. So
Yeah.
but I was so excited for it, even though, I mean, yeah, most of the movies, or a lot of them, have been notably not good, or just a very rocky, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of different entries that weren't great. So yeah, me and Jason, we got together the other weekend, watched it, and we just had a fucking blast. I
Yeah.
loved. I always try to pinpoint. I think I love movies that have much simpler plots. I do like simpler plots that are just able to do a lot instead of like focusing
Yeah.
on subplots and too much going on. I feel like when there's too much going on in a movie, I immediately start to like, fuck this. I like a very cleaner, just not so much going on narrative most of the time, I feel like. And Predator is a franchise that it calls for that. Like, it's all about the situation, right? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't even need to have deep characters. It can have just very standard archetype characters that, it's not a character study. It's more the situation. It's like you're plopping this monster into this situation in time.
Yeah.
And what are they going to do? And what are the characters going to try to do to get out of it? And the concept of them going back to, it takes place in 1719, I believe.
1712.
Or 1712. And the idea that he gets plopped in this Comanche tribe. It's like the pitch is just so good, It's like,
yeah, it's right there.
It's great. And just this, I really loved it. It was just very straightforward. The sister, she's part of the tribe and she needs to prove herself, not being accepted by the rest of her tribe as a warrior because she's, because of sexism among the tribe. And it's just very straightforward. And I love everything they do with the Predator. And the movie looks great. There's a lot of awesome, like really cool sweeping shots of landscapes and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It was really good looking. Yeah, I do got to admit though, I was a little just high on just seeing this really good Predator movie. I do have some complaints with it in hindsight, not anything huge. Like, again, to me, it's just I just get so refreshed when I'm like, holy shit, a good movie. I just want to, and it's a franchise that I really like. So I was so excited about it.
Yeah.
I did have a moment when we started the movie, I think, because there's not a lot of dialogue even in the entire movie, right?
No,
they barely talk to each other. I mean, a lot of it is just the girl out in the woods tracking, like trying to figure out the Predator, doing the thing with the little axe. And as soon as they started speaking, I did have a moment when I was like, they're speaking English. Fucking A. Like, I did, and not even for any kind of woke reasons or anything. It's just
it's jarring.
They wouldn't be speaking English. I don't like. We're just so dumb in this country. Like, it would have been more realistic to me if they were just going like they're just speaking in their native tongue.
Yeah.
I like that better. I wish, and especially a film that has barely any dialogue to begin with. So,
and there's like no white people in it. Like, only like briefly in like the third act.
Right, there's that French, the French. I just wish it was all like in French and Comanche. Like, to put you in more realistic, especially like you have a movie that has barely any dialogue, but it's because it's a fucking American audience with a huge franchise. You can't have it in a different fucking language. So, and then there was a Comanche version that you could watch, but it's only dubbed. They didn't actually speak Comanche. It wasn't so I was like, oh, that's
no, they did. Well,
they did, but it was dubbed over. It wasn't like they were speaking Comanche, right?
So so I'm glad you mentioned that because we texted about it earlier.
Right.
I had read online that like on Wikipedia even says like that they shot a version of the script in English and a version in Comanche. That's kind of true. Someone asked the director on Twitter, and I found it about it, and he addressed it. So I watched it in Comanche, and I'm watching it, and the first 5 minutes there's just no dialogue,
Right.
And then the first time she speaks is when she and her dog are hunting the deer, and I noticed like she started speaking and you can tell what she's saying in Comanche is what she's like saying, like her, it matches her lip movement, and I'm like, okay, cool. But then I'm like, wait, there's no way they shot this movie twice, like in English and then Comanche. There's no way.
Right. Well, that's what.
So then later on in the movie, the first scene where there's like multiple people, I'm like, wait, they're not speaking Comanche. Like, dubbing's not matching up the way it should be. So I was like, what the fuck is going on? The director stated they shot some scenes in Comanche, but they did shoot the whole movie in English, and only a few scenes got Comanche shots as well. But the whole cast did come back and do the dub in Comanche. So it's like, not whatever, it's not too bad. and I got used to it. But yeah, watching it in Comanche makes a ton more sense. Like how you said, you're like, they wouldn't be speaking English. And then I asked you about it because when the French trappers appear, there's no subtitle. Like the subtitles are in French. So I'm reading the subtitles in French and I'm like, oh shit, like I don't know what the fuck they're saying. I still, we both speak English and I speak Spanish, so I'm able to understand like a little bit of what they're saying because it's similar enough, but not, one to one. So I was able to pick up like generally what was going on just because I have that added benefit.
Right.
But I did like, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Like she doesn't speak French, so she doesn't know what the fuck they're saying. And I like how like that makes us feel the same way she feels,
Right.
And then only until like the French have their own translator, like do we like I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Like it makes us feel the way she feels.
Right.
So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, to me it's they did have that thing where they would say some lines in Comanche, but for the most part, when they had to have serious conversations, they were speaking in English.
Well, in the English dub, right? I didn't watch the English one. I don't like. Would they have lines in Comanche in the English version?
Yes. So some of it would be, so they would like say like a few things in Comanche and then start speaking in English.
No.
So I don't really, again, like to me, it's just more of like a, like just, it would be more realistic to me.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, wasn't the worst thing. Again, it almost felt like a missed opportunity because there was such little dialogue. Like even if I didn't know what the hell they were saying the entire time, you can basically get the gist of a lot of the story. But no. And then I really appreciated, it was really cool seeing that the Predator when the Predator shows up, the Predator itself has more prehistoric technology. It doesn't have, it's like an older Predator. It's got
there's no shoulder gun.
Yeah, it's got like less advanced like technology. So that was really cool just to see a different version of it. So and it was just kind of more that, but it brutally murdered people in the tribe. I mean, even it was interesting, like when they're in battle and stuff, even in the beginning when they're hunting the tiger and that one guy gets mauled by the tiger in the tree. Like spoilers for Prey. I mean, whatever. But like it's like in that moment, like they don't even grieve like that dude's death. Like that people just get picked off. But it was so cool. And it just was so quick. It got right to it, right to the point. It hit the beats where, okay, you are hunting this tiger. That was the thing she had to do. She failed at doing that. And now she has to prove herself to her brother, to her tribe. And now she's going to do it by getting the Predator. And it wasn't necessarily, there was some like things where, there's been some complaints like, oh, she was a Mary Sue. How could this 125-pound woman, take on this Predator? Which there is a little bit of that going on. But I think most of it is, the whole idea is that the Predator, you outsmart it. It's not its brains over brawn. It's the whole point of the original movie of the Predator was that Arnold Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers and like the most manliest of men with enough firepower to take down a small fucking city don't stand a chance against this intergalactic being.
Yeah.
So that's the whole point. So what Arnold does in the first movie is he has to cover himself in mud. It's not his to block the heat sensors. That's a big point in all the Predator movies. And it's not about like you can't use guns and brawns to just to defeat this thing.
You can't overpower it.
You got to outsmart it, and that's what the girl does. Essentially, she's just in a lot of it. And again, she does some stuff that's a little like like you. But whatever, it wasn't that bad. But she had to just be very observant, and she kind of understood that okay, it can see, it picks up on your heat signal. She was very like observant to everything that it was capable of and like its weaknesses. So I loved the hell out of it. But the only other like kind of little complaint I wish I had, and this isn't really even a big thing, I do wish sometimes that, when you think about, they're in the forest, it's the Comanche tribe. They did do a lot with where it's a very pretty looking movie. It's, very nice sweeping shots of the countryside and everything. And you get a lot of good shots and it looks great. I almost wish like there's almost like a different way I wish it was presented, like
Hmm.
make it Comanche, don't do any English, like shoot it on film or something, and give it a little bit more grit. It did look a
Okay.
little too clean. It did look a little too more
Yeah.
Hollywood glitzy. Like, I wanted it to be a little bit
Yeah.
dirtier and
Okay.
what was I was thinking of like The Revenant.
Okay.
How it just felt grittier and dirty, like they've been out in the woods, and like maybe not the cinematography of The Revenant. I mean, that was just insane, but more just feels grittier. Like this felt a little bit more clean, polished Hollywood movie, but but it was fine. And sure, there's the bear, the CGI, it wasn't the best, but
yeah, it was a little bad.
I'm just to the point now where I just don't care. Like that's not really they got the Predator in a guy in a suit for the most of it, and they it looked great.
Yeah.
But and then the scene when I didn't even know the Frenchmen were going to be introduced. I didn't even realize that there was going to be like settlers.
I kind of did.
Yeah.
I'm a huge history guy, as you know. So when I'm watching it, when they said 1712, I'm like, wait, there would be like French trappers all over the goddamn place, and there were.
Right, and they do set that up, I think.
Yeah, they're called voyageurs. Well, I probably butchered it. It's like a French term. Basically, fun little historical context. Around this time, the French and the Russians discovered that the beaver pelt was super valuable. They actually almost hunted the beaver to extinction. Like legitimately, we almost just didn't have a beaver anymore. Because it was so fucking lucrative.
Interesting.
And I took note of it being 1712 in the northern Great Plains, and famously that whole Louisiana Purchase, we bought that whole section of the country from the French. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, there would be French trappers. So when her dog gets caught in the trap and she's looking at the meadow like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, oh, there it is.
Right, I didn't pick up on that.
And then when they showed the bison too, even I was like, the predator wouldn't just kill these bison for no reason. And then that's why when she's like, you killed the bison, which makes a ton of more sense. The French totally would have.
Right.
Because a big part of, if you want to get rid of a ethnic tribe you don't like, part of it is you just starve them to death. You kill their food source, just kind of dishonor their whole culture, whatever. So I kind of expected it, and I'm really glad it was brought in. And actually really like the whole, oh my God. Do you remember?
Yeah,
so cool. Oh
so
my God,
brutal.
So fucking the kills were cool. And like that's my thing. Like when I'm watching a movie, I'm like, man, like you got to make these kills like interesting. And you got so many horror movies, but no,
you can't. You got to write. There's an art to creating someone getting killed. You have to make it. You can't just make it the same thing people have seen 1,000 times.
Exactly. Before. And even then, like I'm totally fine with like. Well, like you said, yes, but also you got to include a few of just like, look, he's got these two big ass claws. I got to see him fucking stab someone. He does just fucking right through someone's like face. It's like, oh yeah, all right, now that's out of the way. I want to see some cool ass predator tech, and oh yeah, they fucking showed it.
Right.
Like that's another thing too. Like, hey, this guy's some cool ass tech. So I love how like the whole framing, like narratively, is like, yeah, they're tied up. Anyone who knows anything about the predator knows he's not going to attack them because he wants the thrill of the fight.
Right.
But all these Frenchmen, like, you're just fucking red shirts. So we're just going to use this to show off all this cool ass tech. And it fucking worked. Like, I loved it.
Yeah, no, it was, the whole thing with the predator is he doesn't hunt anything that's not a threat.
Or pregnant woman.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't
you don't remember in Predator 2?
Oh, it's been a while since I saw the second one. But yeah, no, I know it's it's not a threat. It doesn't hunt anything.
If it's not a threat, if your defense, like even if you don't have a weapon, I think in Predator 2, one of them uses their weapon and he's like, that's not fair. Like the Predator wants to hunt, wants to throw the challenge.
Right. He wants he wants an
honor.
opponent.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he has like kind of the species has kind of a set of, like a moral compass, I guess, or rules. But yeah, I loved when I think my favorite part was when it went head to head with the wolf.
That was so cool.
Just the predator going like against nature. I love that. Like again, and it did such a great job of like, that's what I feel like the Predator franchise can do something so well is just what is the situation, It's same thing with certain horror movies do that, I guess. Like what's the situation this villain is in. It's this alien species being dropped into different parts of history. Like, I would love to see him, like, and then people started theorizing online, like, where would you like to see him go next? You know, I would love to see him go into like the American Civil War, or like just in the middle of take on an army in the middle of a battlefield and everyone's just so confused and doesn't know what's going on, or like plop him in the middle of like a pirate ship or something.
Just have him fight like great historical warriors. Like, yo, have him fight like a fucking samurai, like a fucking Spartan, or like just like, yeah, Twitter was like, holy shit, they figured out how to make the franchise good. We have a history of these crazy good warriors. Just have him fight a fucking predator.
Yeah, you can do that. That's, I think it did take advantage a lot of it, of the concept, and that's what I love the most about it. Just it's the old period piece, like Comanche tribe, like that don't have these weapons, but they're great trackers. They have this great rich culture that you can kind of put on display. So yeah, I appreciated the hell out of it. Oh, hold on, let me switch my headphone.
Can you hear me?
Hold on.
No. Oh. Hello? Are you good?
Hold on. All right, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, sorry. My headphones have I'm switching them off because they're dying.
Well, no, you mentioned the situation and like the time period and like how you mentioned the wolf. I love the bear fight because to me that was like, okay, this predator's probably never seen a bear. So to him, it's like, all right, like I like how it's like very obvious the predator's like, I'm on Earth. I'm just looking for some good fights. I don't know what the fuck's on here, you know? Oh, a wolf. I don't know what the fuck that is. Oh, okay, kind of easy. But like the bear kind of fucks it up for a little while. And I thought that was cool. Because like a grizzly bear is, you ever seen a grizzly bear? They're fucking huge. Right. So I do like how like, and like, you know, like he's gonna kill the bear. But I was like, oh, he's kind of losing for a minute. Okay, that's cool. Like, because it's like
they established that he's not invincible, the predator. He can get hurt.
Exactly. And they establish how it's like this predator can still be surprised. Like it's never met a fucking bear, you know? And because it's like, listen, like, yeah, you're a predator, but a bear is still an 8-foot fucking tall powerhouse with you ever see bear claws, Dan? They're like this fucking big.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm just like, listen, like you're gonna kill the bear, but like nature still has some pretty badass goddamn animals, you know?
Right. Oh, I love it.
So I thought that was great. And like even like the scene when like she's being chased by the bear. I love the whole thing where she's like, no, like you can't kill a bear. Like you're in over your head. Like we just saw you struggling to shoot a rabbit. And I actually love that. I loved how she doesn't kill the bear. Because like, no, we just saw you struggle to shoot rabbit. You're not gonna kill a fucking bear. And she doesn't. Like I love how good part of the movies is her running away and like observing and like figuring out like I need to figure out how to kill this thing, you know?
Right.
And then when she does, it's like, okay, now I'm prepared to fight it. And it felt earned, in my opinion. Like it felt like you've used the whole movie showing what you're good at, and like you realize like, oh, I can take my plant that makes me cold and I'm gonna be invisible to it, you know? And I'm just gonna lure you to the fucking swamp, and none of my weapons can kill you, but your own weapons can kill you. Like I love the whole way it played out. Like I really thought it was really cool of like, I'm just gonna outsmart you, but I have to do this very delicately.
Right. And that's the whole movie. They set it up. They're showing that you mentioned, I forgot about that part, the medicine that she can take to slow her blood down. And they establish right in the beginning, it makes you very cold. So it makes you doesn't have like a high heat signature. So the predator can't see you really. And that's how she outsmarts it. And so it's just, that's all it needed to be. And it was simple, and they didn't throw in like all these B plots and all these, I didn't need a whole shit ton of backstory for the main character. I don't need that in a predator monster movie. It's just enough of it's there. And it just, it was pretty damn perfect. So again, not perfect. I did have those few nitpicks, but and then even just, like you were saying, the predator, I like how they established that he's not invincible. They established with the bear that he can get hurt. He wants a challenge. He wants a fight. Like when they show him bleed, that famous green blood, and there's not a whole lot of Easter eggs or references or fan service, which I love. there's the one line where the brother, when they're tied up, if it bleeds, we can kill it. And that's perfect because that makes sense in any time period.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
It's that they didn't go get to the chopper like or anything. So
it's the fucking 17. No, the bleed thing, it reminds me of Seth Rogen has a podcast. It's really good. You should check it out. And he once talked to a dude who like fought a bear, like in real life.
Okay.
Well, he was like mauled by a bear, but he was like, I'm not just gonna fucking sit here and die. So he like fought back. And he talks about how he like was able to like stab the bear and like get it bleeding. And he's like, I shit you not. He's like, I said to the bear, now we're both bleeding, motherfucker. Which is true. Listen, if you can make something bleed, you can probably kill it. Now, I wouldn't recommend anyone fight a bear because you're gonna lose. But hey, you could probably get a few good hits in if you have a knife.
Yeah, no, for sure.
No, I really liked it. Probably go to 4 out of 5. You know, it's not a perfect movie, but it's still a damn good movie.
Yeah, no, I watched it with Jason. We were giddy as shit watching it the entire time. And again, it's just a franchise I love personally, so it's just something I tend to gravitate towards. So I'm just like, thank God someone did something good, and they didn't.
Good movie that's like not like over fucking stuffed with stupid references and Marvel Easter eggs.
It's not like a factory made product. I mean, and it's almost like a weird redemption story for the Predator franchise because I'm shitting you not. After the 2018 Shane Black movie, people were saying, don't ever make another Predator movie. This franchise is done.
Speaking of, actually, where'd you see that? Because I was actually curious why it went to Hulu. And like I'm not gonna lie, I thought about it. Like people are gonna say, like, oh, of course the Predator movie that has a Native American woman doesn't go to theaters, which like I don't know. I'm not a 20th Century Fox executive, whatever. So but I was curious because like, wait, why it's a Predator movie? Why didn't it go to theaters? Like, where did you see about the whole like that the 2018 almost fucking killed this whole thing?
Well, it was a question when this came out and the reviews were being so good. There were like, look, some studio executives, or you would think they're not that stupid. They must have known, hey, this is a good one we got on our hands. This is a good movie. Yeah. But I do think, to me, the answer was obvious that they were talking about it. Everyone was talking about it in 2018 when the Predator movie came out. And I swear to God, I don't remember exactly, but I think part of it was someone had sexual allegations that was involved in that movie, sexual abuse. It might have been Shane Black. I don't know, but basically like some sort of the producer or someone had like sexual assault allegations when that movie came out. And I swear that's partially why the franchise, that movie did so bad. I mean, it was a bad movie.
I just looked it up.
Was it Shane Black?
No, he hired his friend for a minor unauditioned role in The Predator. Right?
Who was a literal predator, who was a sex offender?
Yeah, he spent 6 months in prison in 2010, having pleaded guilty to risk of injury to a child and enticing a minor by computer after he attempted to lure a 14-year-old girl into a sexual relationship.
Yeah, so that was partially why that movie got so chastised by the entire industry. So that, to me, why it was obvious that they put this installment on Hulu. But
Shane Black did Iron Man 3.
Yeah. Shane Black, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Iron Man 3.
I've never seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, but I've seen Iron Man 3, and I quite enjoyed it. And Lethal Weapon, he wrote Lethal Weapon. That's interesting.
Yes. Big name director. But so I almost kind of like better that it was on Hulu, I guess. I mean, obviously, I like having the option to see things on streaming, but now everyone's seen it. Everyone's seen it was like a great movie that they were just like, we're just keeping this for streaming. And it was the best movie ever received on Hulu because it was supposed to be a theatrical movie. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, fuck it. I don't really, so yeah, no. Big win for this year for me. Definitely one of my tops of the year.
Surprise win for Dan.
Hell yeah. So any last thoughts on Prey?
Did you watch the there's no after credit scene, but there's a little teaser at the end. Did you watch it?
Oh no, I didn't. I saw the credits, the end credits. Or doesn't it say like isn't it like the alien ships come down or something?
Yeah, the there's always like the stylized credits, then like the plain black screen. The stylized credits, it's a retelling of the movie with like
Yep.
Native American paint, and then like it ends the same way the movie ends, where she becomes a new war chief, and then it adds a new scene where you see the thunder again and 3 ships pull up, and like
Yes.
you see the little painting of the character, like notice it. So fun little, which I mean, we seen Predator 2 that like they respect the hunt. Like they come down and they're like, "Hey, you killed one of us. Good job. Here's a pistol." Did you notice it's the same pistol?
Right. Yes, that was the only other Easter egg is that it does connect to Predator 2 from that pistol.
So I was expecting the movie to end this way too, where they come back and they're like, "Good job. You are a recognized warrior." Something like that. You know what I mean? Whatever. So, interesting little Easter egg, but I would, as much as I love the character and the setting, I would love for the next one to be like, okay, now we're somewhere else in the world, some different time period. Just kind of make it seem like, hey, yeah, every so often the predators have just been coming down to Earth to fuck with us because they like to hunt,
Yeah, it's an anthology.
So, yeah, exactly. We get a fucking anthology. We know
Yeah.
what it's about. We don't need the goddamn lore. Retcon that whole stupid ass alien theory, which Prometheus really did anyway. I don't know if you saw AVP. Do you remember?
The first one, not the second one.
AVP was like, oh yeah, the predators created the aliens to make the perfect killing machine to hunt. And it's like, no, they didn't. Shut the fuck up.
Right,
Ridley
that was
Scott
schlock. I still
Ridley
have a
Scott's
soft
not
spot.
fucking dead, but he's rolling in his goddamn grave. He's not even dead yet.
Right.
And then he made Prometheus, which is incredible in my opinion. And he was like, nah, fuck that origin story. Here's my alien origin story.
Right. No,
I love Prometheus, Dan. Oh, I love Prometheus.
Yeah, no, so that's it. Yeah, like I said, I have a lot of blind spots with the Alien movies. So
have you seen Alien?
The first one, yeah, I think I gotta get back. I gotta see. That's one of my '80s franchises.
Oh,
I gotta
Dan,
watch a lot of.
I will watch it at your house. I have it on DVD. Dan, I will go to your house any day and watch. I fucking love Alien. Like let's just do that.
All right, sounds good to me.
We'll get Jason. We'll get Josh. We'll get the whole gang.
Hell yeah! So
Ollie's never seen it actually, so we'll invite him too. Anyway, yeah. Nice. I don't know what else happened this week, but I did want to ask you. You saw a movie and gave it 5 stars. Mm-hmm. What movie did you watch?
So I wanted to bring this up. Yeah, this is not a. It's been going around a little bit on the movie film Twitter. Some of the podcasts I listen to have been covering it. So and it
made The Nice Guys. Sorry.
Yeah, Shane Black you're looking at.
Dude, I love The Nice Guys. It's such a good movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
It's so good. Oh, okay. Shane Black, when he made a bad Predator movie?
Yes. It wasn't. I didn't think it was the worst piece of garbage in the world. It basically it tries to expand on the lore. There's a lot of stupid shit in it. It does a lot of subplots. It's kind of ridiculous. But I don't think it wasn't. Maybe I just like the Predator too much. But so anyway.
Sorry. Yeah, I just got distracted.
No. So it's okay. So I didn't know about this movie, but I heard it's. So anyway, for anyone that what I'm talking about is I watched the new movie Mad God that is technically a 2021 release, but it basically came out in 2022 because the movie itself kind of came out in parts. It's kind of hard to explain.
It's produced over 30 years? What?
So, yeah, let me explain. So, just for anyone that's just for any of the listeners. So, this movie, Mad God, I've been hearing a lot about it just from the spaces kind of that I'm in listening to and reading. So, this movie, it's a stop motion animation movie. And it's one of those movies where the story of the making behind it is just as interesting as the movie itself.
I'm reading about it now.
Wait, let me just tell you about it. Don't read it.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, go. Okay.
So this guy who made the movie I've never heard of. His name is Phil Tippett. And apparently this guy is like legendary in the movie industry. So as a special effects artist and a stop motion animator. So he's been known to work on some of the biggest franchises ever in Hollywood history. He did a lot of work on, he was behind Jurassic Park, the stop motion animation in Jurassic Park. He was behind RoboCop, Starship Troopers, and famously, he also did Star Wars: The Last Jedi, the special effects for that and the stop motion animation for it. He did,
very impressive resume.
Yeah, and the original trilogy he was in those famous pictures of the stop motion animation doing the AT-ATs.
Oh, he worked on the original trilogy. That's incredible.
So he was like the main guy.
Yeah.
So this guy, listen.
Yeah. Anyone who worked on the AT-ATs on Hoth, like, that's impressive.
So I started looking into this guy and I watched a couple videos and I was fascinated by just the story of why he made this movie that he had, Mad God. So he's a stop motion animator and as well as a special effects artist. I love fucking stop motion animation. I'm a big animation nerd. I love all that shit. I love a lot of the like old school Disney stuff. But so I love stop motion.
Stop motion movie in 2022. That's crazy.
Yes. Well, so yeah. Cool. So yeah, no, it's such a dead art form, but it's such an amazing art form. I'm so excited talking about this movie. So this guy, Phil Tippett, he was basically explaining in these interviews, and he's this very old Santa Claus looking motherfucker. So he was basically explaining that, you know, his job, like he's a stop motion animator by trade. You know, he does like the woodworking and the miniatures and the figures and the spaceships and making all that stuff. That's his craft. Yeah. And he said as Hollywood went on, that became kind of a dying art form, that he didn't, you know, most of his work, he kept referring to it as, you know, my day job kind of changed, where he was kind of like, he was saying like, he did some of the biggest franchises in movie history. So he always kind of had a job. He said he was kicked upstairs to a more supervisory role when working on movies, you know, and working on like more, he said he's not good with computers. He's more just like a supervisor, but his art and his real craft and passion is in the old school stop motion animation that they just don't do much anymore.
Yeah,
so
it's all CGI.
He has his own studio, like his own, like literally like his own Santa's workshop in Hollywood somewhere, where over the course of 30 years, he just on the weekends, anytime he had free time, he would just go into his workshop and he would just be like tinkering and messing around with these ideas for this movie he had. He wanted to just make this very expressive, like, and he canned it for a while, you know, he kind of stopped working on it. And then he started getting like people, like intern students that were like coming to him, and he's like a legend in the industry, and they kind of wanted to like work with him on something. And so he was like, yeah, I kind of have this like project I've kind of been working on. I don't know. It's kind of just like, it's just kind of an experiment, just so he can do the thing that he loves, you know, just on the side. So like the thing that just Hollywood just doesn't do anymore, this pure authentic stop motion animation. So they did a Kickstarter. They raised like all this money so they could fund it. And they're like, all right, let's make this into a real movie. And it got released in like 3 parts over the years because it, you know, it just takes so long to make. So that's why I think it's a 2021 release. But it was officially released on Shudder in 2022. So a lot of people are considering it a 2022 release. So the title is Mad God. And I had such a fucking experience watching this movie, dude. I loved it so much. It might take my number 1 spot for favorite movie of 2022. It was so good. So
you have a Shudder subscription?
I did a free trial, a 7-day free trial, and as soon as I watched it, I canceled that shit right away.
Well, because I kind of want to watch this movie now, but I'm like, I don't want to subscribe to Shudder, but like, it looks really interesting.
You could do a 7-day free trial and cancel it without paying. So that's what I did.
I know, but like, you know how busy I am, so I have to like time it perfectly. Because like, it is so easy for me to be like, do 7 days and then forget about it because life and a fucking baby. You know what I'm talking about? but
of
like
course.
I want to do it. But like,
Yeah, no.
So wait, so how did you hear about the movie at first? And like Phil Tippett?
There were a couple podcasts that I listened to that brought it up, and they were raving about it.
Okay.
And I think I saw some video thumbnails on it of people that and it just has been getting a lot of hype. So
it's a horror movie. It's a stop motion horror movie. Is it like? Do you think it truly is like a horror movie? Like, or like I'm just reading that. Like, I'm not trying to read the plot, but I just see people saying like the praising the atmosphere and like which is cool.
Okay, let me describe this to you.
Give me a premise. Yeah, give me like a don't tell me like a plot. Just give me a premise.
You literally
like,
can't spoil it. You literally
Okay.
can't spoil it.
Okay.
It's an experience. This is the douchiest thing I could say, but so
it's not a movie. It's a film.
It's not really. I have like a monocle and like, so no, it's like, so it's a literal descent into hell. The entire movie. It's barely, like, people are saying that there's really not a plot to it, but I kind of disagree. There's a very thin storyline. No, but there is like something going on. Like, there's a narrative. It's just very, very, like, what's going on, but you don't know why, is what I'll say.
Okay.
So it's just it's a descent. This guy is, so you're, again, all stop motion animation. You're just being shown this person in like some kind of scuba suit getup, right? And he's just being descended into literal, like, he's being lowered into hell by this machine. And it's just this industrial post-apocalyptic hellscape. And he is just like, you don't even see his face. You don't know if it's a human. It's just some figure in a scuba suit. And he's on a mission into this hell world to essentially, and again, not a spoiler, but you find out that he's there to just kind of basically destroy it.
Okay.
And you're watching him adventure through this hell, and it's the entire time he just goes through these different areas, and again, all stop motion animation, of the eeriest, most depressing, grotesque. You're seeing people getting chopped up. You're seeing like these, just hell. It's doom, it's gloom. It's like, he goes into this one like factory where it's all these lint people, and they're just being massacred in this factory. Like, it's this cog perpetual machine. And basically, like, and you're just watching this guy just on this mission, and there are parts of it where it mixes, there are live action elements to it as well. Cool. There's one part, I swear to God, that's the most breathtaking thing I've ever seen, where there's a woman, it's a nurse, that's all I'll say. There's a nurse, and you can't tell if she's stop motion or live action. Are
there lines in this movie? Are there like
no dialogue?
Cast?
No dialogue.
Because I noticed, again, there's no cast on Wiki. It's just no dialogue. Okay, that's interesting. Okay,
it's just, you're just watching. But here's the thing too. So I had such an amazing experience like watching this. So I watched it completely alone. It was Sunday night. I like got all my stuff done. Riss was still at the cow, or like just at her side hustle. And I put the movie on. It was like dark, and I can't remember the last time I was so fucking engaged just watching something. You're just kind of zoning out, just taking in everything that this movie is showing you, and all of the stop motion. Like, this guy built cities out of stop motion animation. He built, and you're just like watching this dude go through this hellscape. And here's the thing too. It's almost calming watching it, because there's this very weird juxtaposition. The music is amazing. The entire time it's playing this very somber score of just these very pretty little guitar riffs. And it's so somber. And you're just like taking it all in, man. You're just like kind of zoning out, just watching it, just being like, I watched it twice actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah, dude,
I just saw, yeah, it's only like an hour and a half, which is pretty cool.
it's not long, but it's you're just, and then at the end you just kind of, it's like it's the like I don't know, it's, you can tell that this guy was like on LSD or something when he did it. It's just it's one of those things, you know. But it just was like such, you're in awe at just watching this. It's all stop motion and you're like, I can't believe this dude did this. This is the best stop motion animation I've ever seen.
Yeah. Okay. Man,
And there's some,
yeah, I want to watch this movie. It's cool.
yeah, and there's some gruesome stuff. There's like but it's almost comical. Like there's a little,
So it's like stop motion. So like, you know,
there are some live action parts. You'll see it, like, oh dude, it's so good. And it's just this I don't know how to explain it. Like, and so there was like this, I think I was describing to you, there was this whole sequence where this guy is going through this factory and there's these lint people that work in this factory and they're just getting destroyed and stuff. And kind of there's a point in me that almost says like, okay, everyone, you're witnessing people, like these beings, like you see like a monkey get chopped up. You see like I'm just scratching the surface. There's tons of stuff you see throughout it.
Yeah.
And just people getting tortured in hell. And you kind of think to yourself, I'm like, well, if everyone's kind of a part of this universe, like, do they even feel pain? Like, do people even, you know what I mean? Like they're part of, they're not even humans. But there is like this one part that like, oh, just kind of got me, was it's these little lint stick figures, right? And the main guy, he's like he's the assassin. He's just the guy on a mission. And he's just walking through this, like he's just sneaking around, kind of not trying to be seen. And one of the lint people see him. And again, there's no dialogue. And he just kind of like, the lint little stick figure just kind of looks up at him. He's like going down like this ladder or something, like this drain. And the lint person kind of like looks over at him and kind of like does this, like raises his hands, like, take me with you, or something. Like I'm dying. And then the guy just kind of looks at him and like kind of like goes like this and like kind of like closes the hatch and like he's just like, and then he just gets like run over or something. It's literal. So, but like I liked it because I'm like, oh, like they actually are feeling misery. It's such a true hellscape, man. But again, like just picture like he goes into like a war zone. They go into cities and it's all stop motion. There's one point where there's this devil character, or it's hard. The designs are insane, but it's this ghost witch doctor devil, and you can tell this person's a little bit higher on the totem pole. Like there's almost an order to this hell.
It's not a lit person.
He's literally animated at a higher frame rate.
Oh, that's cool.
So he looks smoother. Like it's still stop motion. You could still tell they're miniatures, but he has like all these flowy, like you can tell. Oh, dude, it's so breathtaking. Like he looks better than. And then there's like, again, there's some live action elements in the film. I won't like spoil it, but there's a nurse that is a live action human. Yeah. But the way that they light her and the way that you don't really see her face, you kind of, they do something with her that it almost looks like it's stop motion to the point where you can't fucking tell. It's oh dude. And again, the music was so good. Just, it's very like this somber, and you're just watching these people get mutilated and destroyed in the most disgusting ways. It's like, you know what it's like? Here's what I'll say. It's like in the Nightmare Before Christmas, if Jack Skeleton, except if he didn't go into the Christmas one, he went into like the hell door and he went into the hell world. That's what it is.
Okay. And it sounds really interesting. I looked up. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Sorry.
I just looked up real quick, just like some like images of it, and it looks really cool. Like just the design, like I seen close up of like what the main character looks like. It looks like such a cool creative design. It sounds cool. I like it. No dialogue, just like all atmosphere, and letting the music tell the story and your visuals. Like, I mean, it doesn't get harder than that, you know? Like, because you have to convey a story with just visuals and like your sound design, which is hard.
Yeah, no, and
Um,
it's not much of a story. I do hear a lot of the criticism of,
you still have to make a narrative,
it's substance or it's style over substance, which I'm like, dude, like I get it, but that doesn't like I'm all in. Like I get it if it's not for everyone, but I love the stop motion animation. I'm a sucker for it, and just that's what it is. It's trying to just be not a huge narrative. It's just watching. It's almost like a walkthrough video game simulator.
Okay.
Like that's kind of
Yeah, no,
what
that's cool.
someone even mentioned that I guess the main character kind of looks like the BioShock guy. I don't know.
Like the Big Daddy. I don't know. Maybe
I don't
if it's like a
know.
scuba suit, then vaguely.
Yeah, I don't know. Someone said it reminded them of BioShock, but it kind of was just, yeah, you almost felt like it could be like a video game of just like a walking simulator, and you're just taking in the environment, and that's a lot of what it is. But man, in the end was poof, man, I just in the score, and it's like just this very calming, peaceful guitar. It's almost like you're just meant to lull into it, and just like it's not meant to like be, there's a lot of disturbing imagery, but it's almost just meant to like just lure you into it and just experience it. You're not going to be like jump scares or anything. And the last thing I'll say about it, because I'm sorry, I know you didn't see it, but I had to gush about it today.
Listen, you're doing a great job of selling it to me.
But again, like I totally understand. It's not for everyone. Like it's not like some people. I totally understand. Like
it's like an art film.
It's not a big narrative. And look, there are some like I just love taking in that it was all stop motion animation, it was all miniatures, all sets. And the one thing I will say that I did think of you when I was watching it. There is one scene that, and again, this guy worked on the original Star Wars trilogy. There is a scene of two monsters fighting, and you can clearly tell that they were inspired by, or might just straight up be the same models, just a little edited from that game board in the New Hope,
game
the chessboard.
Board.
You literally like they have the exact same movements, and you're like, these are Star Wars. This is from the chessboard.
Yeah,
that's cool. He did say, because people were like, oh, did you use like there's Easter eggs where there is like a RoboCop thing in the background or something, and he's like, yeah, I used a lot of shit that I had from over the years around the studio. So I could tell, I was like, those are the Star Wars chessboard characters.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. Okay. I would like to try to see this movie maybe in the next few days. We'll see. But it sounds really cool. Like there's, it sounds all, and like just looking at it looks really interesting, and I love interesting movies. So good sell, Daniel.
Yeah, thanks. No, I would suggest, I know it's tough, but I just watched it alone and like sunk into it, and just I didn't look at my phone. I was just I've never been so, I was like, and it's like I wasn't even engaged with the movie. I was like thinking, I was like just admiring I was like, dude, I was just so in the moment watching this. Like I wasn't thinking about my like anything else going on. Like I started like thinking about my life and like what's going on in the world. Dude, I had like this whole experience like watching it, like because I'm just not in the moment so much, and I was just in the moment.
Sucked into the movie. That's cool.
I was so sucked in, and I'm just like, but you're meant to get sucked in, and then you're just supposed to like your mind just kind of wandering because it's such a loose story. But dude,
for an hour and a half, you just lived in that world. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So Mad God probably might be my new favorite movie of 2022. So if anyone out there wants to check it out, it's on Shudder. So
nice. Dan's pick of the month. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So the only other thing I really wanted to talk about, there's not much else going on. I don't know if you had anything in the news that was crazy or.
Nah, dude. Nothing really. I mean, nothing that's not like the same old morbid bullshit we all have to deal with every week, right?
Yeah, of course.
I'm totally cool just getting into some questions.
Yeah, sure. We can do that.
Hearing questions.
We did have a couple. These are, I'll go through. I do have Jason's this time. So we'll go into our listener questions. Okay, I'll do Jason's first. He's got some good ones. Thank you, Jason, for the questions.
Thanks, Jason.
If you could go back in time. Oh, if you could go back in time, what would you do differently? Oh, Jesus Christ. I thought it was like, what time period would you go to?
Oh, yeah, I was ready to say, like, Jason, I'm not white, man. I don't have a lot of options.
What would you do differently? Jesus Christ, why do I have to think about this?
Oh, I know. I would probably just, like, have gone to, like, college in, like, the city. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's a good. I would say if I could go back in time, I don't know. Part of me, I guess I would say I wouldn't spend so much time focusing on doing volunteer firefighter stuff.
I've heard you say you would just go tell yourself, like, dude, go all on the YouTube thing, just be a content creator.
I don't regret that experience, and I don't regret, and it certainly helped me later in my life, and I don't regret the experiences at all. But during college, I did spend so much time pursuing firefighting. And but that's a whole different. That's a whole different part of my life that I don't.
It's like a whole it's like a different lifetime ago for you.
Yeah, no, man. I've hopped around a lot, but yeah, my entire college career, I was after high school. I was a firefighter.
You told me a lot about it. But I remember, like, on Facebook, I was looking at pictures, and I was like, "When the fuck was you a firefighter?"
Yeah, no, it was a big part of my life.
I'm like, what the? Yeah, no, you told me a lot about it, actually, and we've had some good discussions about it, and you just have some interesting stories and interesting people. It seems like it takes like a certain kind of person to be like, I'm gonna go fight fires.
Yeah, you know? it's an adrenaline rush. Yeah. But anyway,
thanks, Jason.
Thank you, Jason. What else? Have you guys ever had to block someone on Twitter, Instagram, etc.?
Not that I can think of, honestly. Like, personally, not really. I don't care. You?
No, I've never blocked anyone. I never really had to. This is also another one of his questions. Have you ever been blocked by someone on Instagram?
Oh, probably. I'm annoying.
Yeah, I had some ex-girlfriend block me once. That's about it. Stupid.
I'm sure someone's seen some like a stupid leftist bullshit on Twitter and was like, "Fuck this woke liberal cuck," and blocked me.
Yeah, no, I don't really care. It's like out of sight, out of mind, I guess. I'm like, I don't like social media is not real life anyway. I don't fucking care.
No, it's not.
But yeah, so thank you, Jason, for the questions. And we have, I think, just one other one, maybe two. Oh, here's one. A lot of these questions, I gotta say, someone's definitely trolling us because there's just a lot of relationship type questions that are very bizarre.
And it's got to be someone from my past who like hates me, which is probably justified. So
I put up like pop culture questions, video game hot takes, any of your guys' own opinions that we might want to respond to, and everything was like, "Have you ever thought about being gay?" Like that's literally half of the questions. But
is that one of the questions?
Something like that. I'm not.
What's the question? Let's hear it. No, let's hear it.
I don't. What the fuck? Have you ever thought about being bi?
No, I have a legit answer. Okay, here's the thing. I feel like as people, we are probably born, because you are molded like by your environment, your culture, your parents. A lot of things go into raising a person. It's nature and nurture. It's not versus. It's both, actually. And you're influenced by a lot of things. Like, okay, like if you're born into like a strictly religious household, and from like birth, you're told like, hey, here's this book. This is your guidelines for life. Man and woman only. That's what you're gonna believe. That's how it's gonna be, you know. And then like you're gonna get older, and you're probably gonna be like you're gonna meet other people, because like I know people like this, like people who grew up and have only had like their worldview influenced by like the church and like whatever their parents believe in, you know, like. And my point is like that's just how it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Like you get it. Like you seem to have pretty chill parents, to my understanding. From I've never met them, but like from what you've told me, they seem to be pretty open. So but I'm sure if your parents were maybe a little more conservative, you probably would have maybe slightly different worldviews. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. Kind of how my worldview is very much molded by like the experiences I've had, and my parents were also super like chill about things.
Right.
My parents are very into the Jesus and the church, but when I walked away from all that, they weren't like, get back here. They were like, all right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah.
But I know people who are very much like they have told me, they're like, like I'm not homophobic, but I just believe it's wrong because like religious reasons, But they're like, I'm not homophobic, and like, like I would never like be prejudiced against them, but I just don't agree with that lifestyle. And like to me, it's like, well, I guess that makes sense because your whole life you've been told that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's my long tangent of like, so as a person, did you hear me still?
Yeah.
Okay. So like as a person, like I did grow up very much like, especially the media I would consume, and being raised in a religious household, it was very much like, okay, man and woman, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So like, I fully understand that I have a predisposition to that mindset, but I have thought about like, like, would I be down with getting of a dude? And I was like, no, it's just not for me. Like, I've seen what a dick is. I've we've watched porn, and I'm just like, it's not for me. Like I have thought about that. I've thought like, oh, I wonder like if I would be into that. And I just like, nope, it's not for me. And I guess some people would be like, well, you've never tried it. And I'm like, yeah, man, I have no interest. Like I can say like, Dan, you're a very handsome person. Like I can say a lot of my friends are like, yeah, you're an attractive male. That's awesome. But like after that, I'm like, nah, man, what's under the pants? Just not for me. Sorry. I've had like gay dudes who like have talked to me and I'm just like, yeah, man, I'm flattered, but I don't swing that way. Thanks though.
Well, that's a very eloquent answer. Very articulate.
Yeah,
I'm pretty fucking gay, bro. Just undercut that entire very nice answer with, yeah, I've sucked a few cocks. No, I haven't thought about being bi.
That's the TikTok get right there. I'm pretty fucking gay, bro.
Yeah, thank you for the question, I guess.
Listen, man, I'm very open to my sexuality because I'm like, yeah, man, listen, I have a kid and wife, man. Like I know who I am.
Right.
Like
here's an interesting one. And again, people, what is up with all these relationship type questions? I don't mind them, but goddamn, it's all very. But this is actually a decent one.
My ops are out to get me.
This is an interesting one. Worst date you've ever been on?
Probably not one where it was like, oh, this other person sucks, but probably just because like this restaurant sucked, or like the situation was like just not, what I'm saying, like not fun. I can't think of one coming to mind, but I know there has to be one where it was like, again, not because like my partner at the time or whatever like just made it a shitty experience, but probably just because like things just went wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like,
were you dating
sometimes
this person?
Oh, I don't remember. I'm trying to remember one, but like I can't recall ever having a situation where I'm just like, this sucks because like you are being like a shitty partner right now, or like I'm just dating you, like I'm trying things out and like you're just a bad person. It probably would be more of like, oh, this restaurant kind of sucks, the service kind of sucks, or like, you know what I'm saying, or like the situation is not ideal. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Do you have one? I can't think of one right now, but do you?
Here's the thing, folks. If you're listening to this right now, it's probably later in the podcast. So probably most of you don't get this far into it. So I can probably be a little open. So if where
Dan reveals he's toxic.
If you're still listening, this will be juicy for you. So let me ask you this. Have you ever done the dating app thing? Have you ever done Bumble, Tinder, any of that shit?
Yeah, I was on Tinder for a little while. Didn't really get me far. Like, only like I never like, honestly, like I've never like hooked up with someone because of it. Most I did on it was like I talked to someone and we like texted for a bit and we hung out like once. You know what I'm saying? I did left swipe my now wife on Tinder though.
Nice.
Yeah, because like I knew who she was because she was like my coworker, and I saw her on it, and I was like, nah, I don't think so. I remember I was like, I don't think like jokes on me.
Perfect.
She ended up marrying me. So anyway,
We
but like I did, and it was like it sucks. Dating fucking sucks. But I
it's so
did meet
stupid.
someone who like, and like now we're just like internet mutuals. You know what I'm saying? And but like yeah, like someone who I just like ended up like talking to and like texting for a bit, and we hung out like once. That's pretty much it.
Gotcha. So yeah, I mean, I have some interesting stories from the dating app scene. So the year is 2017. I am in college.
Trump is
I'm
president for the first year.
waiting
Racism is
tables.
rampant.
I'm waiting tables at night. I'm doing the firefighter thing. I'm taking classes. I'm all over the place. I'm doing a lot of the typical college stuff. And I'm single, and I am just trying to get it from anything that walks. It was.
Wait, is this when you had the car where like you had like a Bluetooth speaker in the car to listen to music?
No, that was later. I had my Jeep at the time. So
You had a
I
Jeep?
was just getting a Liberty, not a Wrangler. But
Okay.
so I was, dude, I have some dark stories. But
I've heard some of them. We've hung out before.
So I've been on, but like I've met people too. I went to school with people, like girls that you would just go on Tinder and they were like, yeah, I've just literally been like to people, I'll come over and we can hang out and we'll fuck. And that's basically like, I've had girls tell me that's like, yeah, it's just not even a date. Like, you know what it is. And they've done that.
Okay.
And I've had that situation a couple times very desperately. It's very interesting. Dude, there was one time where I was talking to this person.
Yeah.
And dude, like people are just over text is just not good. It's like you're just and all I'm trying to get across is, hey, I doubt I'm going to be interested in you as a person. I just want to do the dirty. I'm trying to say that in like so many words over text. Like, like this is
listen,
look, this is what it is.
You were just an object, okay? No, I'm kidding.
If this is what it is, if you don't want to do that, that's fine.
Fair.
Stop texting me, but this is what I'm interested in right now.
Oh
and
my God.
So I ended up like going, like hanging out with this person we went to like late at night, we went to like a diner or something and met up, and like, you want it like just to make sure you're not like a fucking creep, meet somewhere in
break
public.
the ice, yeah,
Sure. And like she was just so like she was like a person that like maybe like a year or two younger than me. So basically someone that probably just lived, you could just tell she was one of those girls that just lived on her phone.
Yeah.
Does not have human interaction. I mean, she was so quiet and so like just awkward and not, not really there with a personality or anything. And so we went back to my place and like I tried to like talk to her and spark up conversation, and there was just like, yeah, like just kind of, I mean, dude, there was like, I think it was like a robot, like just nothing upstairs. Like it was, and then we go back to my place, do the dirty. It was completely just like, yeah. And then I just drove her home and, never talked to her again. It just was like, okay. I've done that a couple of times. And there was one time.
What? Hello?
Oh, sorry. I lost you for a second.
Well, yeah, I just like got kicked. Hello?
No, you're good. I could hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know, it just like kicked me. But yeah, so you drove her home and
that was about it. Just I tried to be like, hey, like what, or just even if I'm not, even if I'm not gonna like, we're not gonna hang out. Like I just want to like engage you as a person. And dude, it just was like,
no, I get it.
Some people, there's just nothing there. Like there's nothing interesting about them. They have nothing. Like I'm like, what do you do for a living? Like where do you like what do you just kind of what do you do like for a hobby? Like it was just kind of like like very quiet. Like not that she was like nervous or anything, just didn't like
just personality wise,
just no personality. Like, and I just had that experience with a lot of people, unfortunately. But
no, I mean I get it. I mean, I think some people are so like, listen, I'm just here to do this, and it's like, I mean, we could still just try to like be friendly, like hey, what do you do for work? You know.
I literally just thought I was interacting with a mannequin. It was bad. Like it was very weird. But anyway, there was the only other story I do remember is I was on Bumble and I matched with someone that was said they were from a certain part of our area, which is a little bit I'll just say more desolate. And they were basically talking to me. I don't know how to describe it, but they were basically asking me like, do you have any like, oh, like let's hang out. And I'm like, sure. And I just saw the profile picture and it was just a normal looking person. I'm like, sure, let's whatever. And then they start going, do you have any Coke to bring with you?
Nice.
And I'm like, no, I don't. No, I don't. And they just kept asking, can you bring Coke? Can you bring Coke? We can do whatever. Can you bring Coke?
I can see being like, I don't even know where to get some. Like, that's not who I am.
And I'm like, oh, this is either I'm just probably getting trolled or something, or I don't know.
I'm gonna get arrested as soon as I get there.
And then I shit you not, they send me a picture of this girl. Like I couldn't tell from her profile picture. She sends me a picture of her and her bra and underwear, and she is like to like get me to come over. And dude, she was like stick thin, like anorexic crack whore.
Yeah, that does not sound. Oh, yeah, it sounds a little.
And I was like,
sad.
oh no. And I was like, oh, delete. Like that was the craziest story I have. I was like, what?
She knew what she wanted.
Oh, dude, that was the only thing. I was like, what the fuck?
But you dodged the bullet. I'm pretty sure you would have pulled up to like a fucking really shady looking area. Like, oh, I shouldn't be here. I'm gonna go home instead.
No, of course not. In my mind, I'm still so cynical. In my mind, I still think to this day, like maybe I was just getting trolled. I don't know. Like, but
I don't know, man. Some people
it was
like
very much like, dude, it was very much like, come over, we can do whatever. Like, I just want Coke. And then they like, I didn't even they just send me this picture, like this, you know, this lewd being like, hey, come on over. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like the body of a crack whore. Oh. And I'm like, oh no. No. So, oh
no.
So if you've made it this far into the episode, congratulations. You got some fun stories.
Congrats, Jason.
So yeah, thank you for the question.
Is that all the questions?
Nothing really. Like all the other ones are not. I'm sorry if they're just not like, okay, the last one we'll do. We'll end on this one.
Fucking cats. One of my cats knocked the roll on my speakers. I'll deal with it later.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, we'll end on this question. Have you ever been fired from a job?
Have I? Let me think. I quit. I don't think so. I think I just quit. I don't think I have, actually.
Yeah, I had to think about this. Technically, I was fired from a job. Kind of, not really. I was like planning on not going back in anyway. I used to work for this guy like under the table for a short time in college.
Yeah.
And basically my job was, he was like this blue collar dude. He serviced fire extinguishers. So, and I was in the fire department. So I was supposed to like go around with him and he was supposed to like teach me how to like refill fire extinguishers and service them. And we'd go around to like different businesses and just change the tags. And it was a terrible situation, man. He was like this old racist.
It sounds like a really easy, like chill job, like pretty straightforward, you know?
No, he was a total scumbag, dude. Oh. He was a dirtbag. He basically was like, hey, yeah, I'll have you come on and do some work. He like, dude, this man like needed to be put in a grave. I'm not even like, this guy was miserable.
What is he
like?
This
guy was a miserable.
What is he?
He was a miserable piece of shit.
Was he sitting there like, all right, and then to refill it, you do this. Also, this is how I feel about black people. And it's like something terribly racist.
No, not even that. Like, yeah, he was like that, but like it was just one of those like he needed someone just around to criticize, and it was just he was just
like criticize you and shit.
miserable. He was a miserable old fuck, and he hated young people, and he like was basically paying me to like sit in his van and like bitch about young people and minorities and everyone's crazy in his life but him. He'd complain about his wife, like how he hates women and like. And then, like, dude, he was a terrible old fuck, like miserable old fuck. And I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, like, but you just don't feel like you need to be, like, you want to be on this earth, like, miserable old blue collar fuck. And then he, like, basically, like, that's the thing, like, he hired me and he had, like, no use for me, like, he didn't show me anything. He's just like, and then he would like bitch to me, like, what are you you're not doing this right, and you're not doing. I'm like, dude, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. Like, you hired me and I'm just walking around and like driving around with you in your van, and we don't.
How long did you do this for? Oh, hello, Dan. No. Hello. Hey, you back?
Oh, yes, I'm back. Sorry,
I lost you for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I did it for a few months, one winter, in between semesters, and that was about it. And then I went back to my old job waiting tables.
Okay. Wait, so how did you, because you said you were kind of fired, but you didn't plan on going back? Was it just because like the school year started or whatever, and you were like, all right, fuck this?
Yeah, no, he was just a piece of shit. And he like basically the day I was like about to just walk in and I was actually gonna kind of tell him to fuck off. And but yeah, he came in and he's just like, I'm like, and here's the thing, and he's like, yeah, this ain't working out. We're gonna have to, yeah, I can't, I can't, I don't have the time to train you. I don't have the time to, and I'm like, all right, I'm fucking out of here, dude. Like, piss off. Like, I wanted to like burn down his building. He was such a piece of shit. So yeah, anyway, advice, be smart about when you're working for a small business owner and you're going to be working with the owner very closely, because 9 times out of 10, say what you want about working for like a corporation, but when you're working for a small business owner, you're on their clock and you're messing with their money. So like they are going to 9 times out of 10 be bigger hard asses.
Yeah.
Than working for like just a company where it's like not anyone else's money. But yeah, when you're working one-to-one with a business owner, like they're going to be the hard asses. So
also, there's no HR. And a lot of times if you're working for like a small business owner, it's just either like usually just you plus the person, or like you, the person, like one other guy. So it's just like you three. And the owner, unfortunately, a lot of blue collar Americans are like pretty Republican-y and pretty Trumpy. So they'll just say all sorts of wild shit. Because like,
of course,
they're their own boss. And they just, I guess, assume like, oh, you're doing this with me, you probably feel the same. And it's like, no, I don't.
Of course.
Actually, I had a similar situation. Like this guy, like he's a decent guy. Like he's not a bad guy. Like I worked with this guy for a while. Who does wood flooring, and my neighbor used to do it, so he kind of got me in. Same situation as you. Like it was like a few months in the winter between semesters, and you know he's not a bad guy, but he's like libertarian, like super like, but like American, like government just only good for taxes, needs to stay out of my business, you know, like the Democrats and the Republicans too, but more the Democrats, you know, like, you know, and like, and you know, he's like, and a lot of these guys are interesting because like they're not like anti-immigrant, they're like, yeah, they're just trying to work too, but they're still like liberal, like they're still like libertarians, so they're still kind of just like, they'll say some shit and I'm just kind of like, that's not, can't say that, man.
You know what the fuck? Yeah.
So it was like some situation, and like I'm super fucking lefty, so I'm just like, and at the time I was just like, whatever, man, just gotta hold your tongue. So yeah, that same situation, like just anyone out there, if you're in the same boat as like, yeah, where you work for something like the person Dan worked for me again, they're their own boss, man. They're gonna start just telling you shit about their lives and their own political views, and like you either just got to be like, yeah, that's crazy. You just don't. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. Best you can do is just make up something like, I actually got a job offer, so thanks for your time, and just dip. No, I've never been fired. A lot of my jobs either have just ended. I've done a lot of work where it's like that, like the amount of time I knew I was gonna work for it ended, or like it was like a contract job or something, you know. and then or I've just quit. Like I would just quit my job because I'm like, fuck this.
Right.
Which has happened way too often. Yeah. So shout out
Nice.
us for never getting fired. I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't think I can handle getting fired. I'd be like probably so upset.
Well, yeah, no, I was always a very like I worked in a kitchen for years in high school, and I like and it was funny because I worked just in a kitchen, and it was classic kitchen stuff. There were people on drugs, there were people that were, and I was like 16 at the time. There was one guy who overdosed in our locker room where I worked,
Were
and
you there when it happened?
yeah, someone found him. It was like 6 in the morning.
Wow.
It was a kitchen. It was a kitchen like in
Wait,
a
is he alive? Did he die or some shit?
no, he was alive, but it was
Oh,
a he was oh my god, it was crazy. This was in a the setting was a healthcare facility kitchen. That's what it was. And so it was not like waiting tables or anything. It was just we were making trays and washing dishes. That was the
yeah.
context. So I did that for years in high school and even like into my first year or two of college. But yeah, no, it was such an experience. Like I saw people. There was this one woman who came in like on drugs, and she like fell into a garbage can and was like trying to tell the cook like to go out into the car and fuck her. And like I was like, and this was like a middle-aged woman, and I was 16. There was like this. They once hired this cook who was like an old prison chef, and he would like say the most outlandish shit, dude. He would like be, and meanwhile, I'm like 17 at the time. He's like telling me and my buddy that worked with me, like, he's telling us, like, yeah, I have this daughter, man. She's just so fucking fat. Like, and I'm like, what? And and he like threatened, like, again, prison chef. He threatened one of the coworkers, and like he grabbed a knife off of the dishwashing station, and he walks by me and he goes, snitches will die.
Oh my
And I'm like,
god. What the fuck?
But yeah, I will say though, I'm like so thankful for that experience because it was a lot of manual labor, and I worked my ass off for all these summers. Like summer I would do full time, like I
That
just
reminds
worked.
me. But
Yeah,
keep
no,
going
I
though.
just worked. Yeah, I worked my ass off. But it was funny because I always say, like, because it was my first job and I never had a job before, I didn't know, like,
But you just can't say that. Oh, I lost you again. Oh no. Dan. Oh, you're back, kinda. Hello? Are you back?
oh, I'm back.
I lost you for a minute. Last thing
Yes.
I heard you say was like since it
Sorry.
was like your first job, you didn't know, and then you just like cut out when you're doing this.
Yeah, I didn't know what like a poor working environment was, so I never knew
Right?
what a shitty job was. So
Yeah. That
that was just what were you gonna say? You thought of something.
well, my first job, I delivered pizzas at a pizza place run by like Albanian like immigrants. And
Hmm.
yeah, so when I wasn't delivering pizzas, I was like doing like prep, like you're always prepping shit and like making pizza boxes and shit. And I remember one summer, this kid comes in, doesn't speak a word of English, just like speaks Albanian. They told me he was like 14. It's the summer, and I'm thinking, okay, he just arrived to America, just gonna make some money for the summer, whatever, right? And I thought like, oh yeah,
Right.
so I'm assuming he's gonna go to school when September comes. Nope, not at all.
Oh, no
He was
shit.
14, Dan. just to like that's the lifestyle. Like, nah, man, like fuck school. You got to make some money and send it back to your family back in Albania. And I'm assuming that's what he's just been. And oh god, I was like 18, it was like 10 years ago. Oh god, he's got like 24 now. So I'm assuming that's what he's been doing just since he came to the United States. Just fresh off the
Yeah,
boat.
man.
He's got to work. Again, didn't know a lick of English. I'm hoping he picks some up in his years here, but yeah, that's just all he knows, man. Just kitchen life, and that's just how it is for a lot of people. Actually, that's how it was for one of the his name, his like European name was like Zyme or something. We just called him Zach. Same thing. When I met him, he was like 26, and I thought he was like, I was like a fucking like 17-year-old. I was thinking like, oh god, you're so old, and now I'm older than him. Well, back then,
Right.
obviously. But same thing. Like he told me he got to the United States and just immediately like, all right, go work at some pizza place in New York City. Just figure it out, man. And it's just how it is. And
Yeah, and that's but if you're sending money back to a family where it's like that's a shit ton more money in that
Yeah.
country, or
Yeah.
you know, and it's worth it, and you're able to afford a place like with a bunch of other people. Maybe, I mean, dude, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah,
What the
no,
fuck?
and to
Who
them, they're like,
cares?
I don't fucking like, they're like I'm 15, and they're like, yeah, you're 15. They're like, I don't want to go to school, you know, and like odds are they
Right.
haven't gone to school in a long time anyway. And that was a lot of, I saw that a lot with my old job with the kids I used to work with, but just interesting lifestyle, like it's a luxury that like we have a lot of luxury being Americans. We didn't have to go to work. We just like, hey, yeah, go to fucking school, you know.
Right.
So
No, yeah, no, I've always been interested with like people, like life stories, like when I worked in kitchens, and when I worked I used to work at a Red Lobster, like all the like Latinos in the back that didn't really speak. It's such an interesting, but like there's such like it's such an interesting like
oh, they've got some
I don't know.
stories, dude.
Yeah, like I want to like they're always such interesting people. Like
Yeah,
I
man.
just want to know like cuz they have such a different way of life, and just that idea of, I don't know, it's always been fascinating to me. Like I
Yeah.
loved working in kitchens, man. I
Oh
love
yeah,
kitchen
dude.
lifestyle.
It's the great
It,
equalizer. It's
exactly.
the great
So,
equalizer. It's like, no, here we all fucking suck. Don't even worry about it.
yeah, it's such a fun like blue collar-esque job. I don't know, I always enjoyed it.
Dude, just I was at Dallas once, and Dallas is run by like old fucking greasy musty Italian dudes.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
guy on Broadway, like he looks like that. And they're fucking playing like Newsmax, and I'm like, oh, this is like the worst Republican, anti-immigrant, anti-everything drivel, fucking terrible, right?
Mhm.
But the dude, like in the kitchen, because I started talking to him, is like this Salvadoran man who was telling me, like, bro, I know your story because I work with those kids. Like, you got over here not legally, I'm very sure, and you're just trying to work, man. Yeah, do your thing.
I know they don't they
But
don't
I'm
give a
like,
shit about
but
like
what your
political
boss
issues
is
like
playing is like people telling him and all these other old retired folk that they should deport your ass.
so
Which,
stupid.
but again, it's all just a fucking lie because he hired your ass. He knows you don't have working papers, probably. Like, come on, man. Like,
I know.
any
Yeah,
Republican I've ever met is like, I've met so many people who are like, yeah, they're just trying to make a living. And I'm like, yeah, man, they're just trying to make a living. Stop voting for the
exactly.
guys who don't want them to do that.
They're not coming and raping our people, or like they're whatever the fuck Trump says. They're not stealing
Ah.
our jobs. They're like the hardest working backbone of the fucking country.
Oh,
Like
dude, walk into any kitchen in Kingston, it's all fucking Latinos.
it's just, well, that's a lot of places, and it just, I don't know. It's like it's just a way of life, man. Like
Like Angela's.
I like.
When you walk into Angela's, I'm like, there's not a single Italian person here.
I I admire the like I almost just want to just be more like that, where it's just like, but they're just like, dude, like I'm not, I don't care who the president is, or I'm not like
Yeah.
talking about these political, I'm like here just trying to make my money. I'm worried about what's going on in my life right now. Like this doesn't matter to me.
Yeah,
Like
I get it.
fuck off. I'm here to make my paycheck and go home. I don't know. Like it's
And but
sometimes it's
that's the average American, dude. That's the average person. Honestly, the average person is just trying to feed their fucking kid and make their living and not have to worry, you know?
I just wish I wasn't so red pilled sometimes.
Uh, I want to wrap it up because I'll talk about this forever. But that's why I get pissed, honestly. Whenever I meet someone who's like whenever I see someone with like all these fucking flags and Trump 2024 bullshit and like let's go Brandon, I have to like think to myself, like at the end of the day, they're just someone just trying to feed their kid, feed themselves, pay their bills, go home and just relax. Like, and which is why I get pissed that I'm just like, God, you've been red pilled so bad that you like are hating people who are just like you, dude. Like at the
Well,
end of the day,
I
like,
wouldn't call that red pilled. I would call that,
oh, you're a Q fucking deep state Alex Jones role. I get
dude,
that, but like
whether you're on the left or on the right with that stuff, it's like it's all fake. That's what I mean
it's
by
all
red
bullshit.
pilled.
We're all just
I
trying to
mean
fucking pay
like,
our bills, man.
well, yeah, exactly. Well, right, yeah, of course.
So
But
yeah, good
all
talk.
right. Yeah, I think we've done good work here. So nice episode getting back to some movies. So
Yeah,
some good stuff in the world, to appreciate.
Star Child was missed, but he'll be back
Yeah.
next time, probably. I'm assuming. Well, he's gonna be back next week, and I won't be here next week. The way these things usually fucking play out.
Yeah, whoever's on, we'll see.
Like
But
me, 2 episodes in a row. Oh my god. A
Getting
third?
lucky, folks.
I'm going for a three-peat.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Follow on Instagram, Next Round on Me Pod. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple iTunes. Thank you all so much for listening. Send us some questions, DM us, whatever the hell you want to do. Tell us your favorite Rowan Polanski movie. Tell us your favorite Kevin Spacey performance.
I just thought of something.
And yeah.
Wait. Please follow us on TikTok and please comment because I love I love just watching Dan reply to you fuckers. Like,
oh my god, that
like,
kid's response was so funny.
Bro, I was just going through the comments and like someone's like, I guess Erwin has a podcast now. Like, yeah, exactly.
But I was just making an observation. No diss to anyone that has divorced parents. I just said he gives me vibes that his parents are divorced and that has affected him. And he responds like, and he goes, they were never even married. And I'm like, I was in my office and I read that response and I was belly laughing. I was like, and that's not to insinuate that, maybe they never got married, but they still have a great relationship. But just the like jokes on you. They were never even married. I had a terrible childhood. I'm like, oh, I was belly laughing. I wanted to frame that response on the wall. That was the perfect. I am so in, man, on the TikTok comment section. I'm in. I love the TikTokers.
I'm reading them and I'm like, oh my God, it's just Dan being snarky to people. And I'm not surprised.
I didn't say anything about. I just told him. I said,
"No, you're not being offensive." But like,
he strikes me as someone that has divorced parents. That's
I know
all
your humor, though. I was reading the comments and I was like, "This is so fucking Dan."
Oh man, that response though was worth it. Oh,
we should frame that. We should frame that.
Frame it. It's going in the Hall of Fame.
If we ever get an office, just fucking frame that shit.
All right. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. Patreon coming soon with some fun stuff down the pike. And all right, I love you all. Goodbye, Gene.
Love you.
Leave us on some words of wisdom.
If you ever run into OJ Simpson in Los Angeles, turn the other way.
And end.
I don't know what else to. I was just.
I love to put people on the spot and just say something random to finish.
No, OJ has said, like, what was it?